Hey there, Sarah Noked here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about goal setting and why the beginning of the year is a great time to obviously set goals and intentions for the year ahead, but also look back at some of the goals that you have set for yourself the year prior. Did you meet them? Why or why not? And all that good stuff. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about how I set goals for myself, what you should be thinking about when setting goals, and how to really benefit from these goals that you're setting for yourself so that you could have a fabulous year ahead. So goals are something that some people really love, some people really don't like to set, and some people are really anti-goal. But one of the things that I've realized over the years is that, you can set these goals for yourself, but are you actually daily, weekly, monthly employing the right habits to get you towards reaching those goals? So last year, I set two really important goals for myself, personal and the professional goal. So for me, I needed to leave my house more often. I know that this might sound bizarre to some of you. For some of you who already work online, you know that you can sometimes go for days and days and days without leaving your house. And yes, I've got little kids, so I do have to, pick up and drop off and all that stuff. But other than that, I really wasn't, getting out to move. I wasn't really, getting enough physical activity. My back was hurting. I was sitting all day. So I made it one of my goals personally in last year was to move at least once a day, leave my house and exercise and get out in nature. And I am happy to say that I have accomplished that goal last year, and I continue to meet that goal because I have set a daily intention. I have made it my habit. And I think that's the important thing that we have to remember when it comes to goals. If you don't have the right habits in place, you're likely not going to reach those goals. So we need to really be thinking about what are the habits that go into meeting these goals. As I mentioned, my big personal goal was to get out and exercise and be in nature and not be at my screen 24/7. And I was able to do that by setting a daily habit of leaving every morning at the same time to walk Kelly. That was my other additional thing to add on to that goal, was that I have this sweet little puppy now that needs me to get outside with him. And that was honestly what I needed to, get me moving every day. On the professional side, one of my big goals last year was to make this YouTube channel, rev it back up again and start creating weekly videos. And for me, that meant taking time every week to record these videos, shoot the B-rolls, think about my ideas and be able to actively convey them to you guys. And so for me, that meant time blocking. If you want to reach your goal, you want to make a good habit of it, block time out of your calendar to actually do it. I found that this was hands down the only way for me to actually accomplish that goal. When it comes to setting goals for yourself, I want you to remember a few, and I want to share with you a few key tips. The first one that I've mentioned is time blocking. You want to make these habits that move you towards your goals. So when you are setting goals for yourself, and you don't need to set 100 goals for yourself. Let's say you set 5 big goals, 3 professionally and 2 personal goals that you set for yourself. Now think about what are the sorts of habits that I need to do daily in order to drive me towards those goals. It's not enough just to throw some, random things out into the universe. You want to have some clear ways that you're going to actually reach those goals, right? So for me, it was getting out and getting some more physical activity. That meant every day getting up, leaving the house, and going on a walk. That daily intention, that habit that I created is now something that I literally can't live without. And that's, to me, how I've successfully reached my goals. So I encourage you to make some goals for yourself, but in thinking about the goals, then create lists underneath of each of those goals of how you are actually going to get to that goal. What are some of the steps that you're going to take that are going to move the needle, that are going to move you closer towards actually accomplishing that goal in this upcoming year? The other big thing that happens when you set goals is remembering to set some personal and professional goals for yourself. Some of us are gung-ho about the professional and we overlook things in our personal life that we need to accomplish. You know, if there's one thing that I've noticed over the years of being an entrepreneur is that this is a personal growth journey, this thing called entrepreneurship. So if you're not going to bring the personal along with you and start to think about things in your personal life that, you know, goals you want to hit, you're not going to hit those goals, right? So you want to really establish what are some personal and what are some professional goals that you can accomplish this year. Now, the next thing is something that is called SMART goals. So SMART goals are goals that you can set for yourself that are specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and timely goals. So there's that SMART acronym that you can use, but what it means to me, like the short of it is when you're setting goals for yourself, it has to actually have some sort of time constraint, right? It's not enough to say, you know, I want to land clients this year. How many clients do you want to land each quarter? What does that time frame look like? So setting really, really clear goals is going to help you get more clear about what you need to do to take those steps to move towards those goals, right? So back to that first point of like, well, okay, so how am I going to build out this habit? If you're setting specific SMART goals for yourself, then you're going to have more specific information to put around, well, what are the habits that I need? So for example, if my habit is to land one client in Q1 2022, then some of the habits I'm going to be building under that are creating relationships, time blocking day, either weekly or daily into my calendar of how I'm going to actually accomplish that. How am I going to spend time hanging out in those Facebook groups, hanging out in that mastermind group, you know, engaging and building those relationships, because we know relationships are where it's at. That's what's going to help you land solid clients. So you need to have that time baked out to actually build those solid relationships. So having those things in place that are going to help you actually achieve those goals are huge. One of the things that I love to do when it comes to goal setting, and to be honest, I probably spend a little bit too much time doing this, but I love to also reflect back on the goals that I have achieved or not achieved in the year ahead as I'm setting my new goals. I want you to take some time to actually like celebrate the goals that you've actually achieved. If there are goals that you haven't achieved, you know, reflect and be honest with yourself about why that didn't happen. You know, it could have been things that are out of our control, you know, like we're living in a pandemic. It could have been that that goal was just not as realistic, or that goal was something, you know, you had changed courses on. But I want you to spend time to reflect back and to celebrate. Honestly, the beauty of setting these goals is that you can actually look back and be like, oh yeah, you know, that was a goal that I had for myself and I've accomplished it. Wow. You know, and here are some of the ways that I've accomplished it, and really give it to yourself and be proud of yourself, because we don't do that enough. Creating these goals for yourself, sometimes it's so fun to look back at them. And I would even challenge you to write your goals and put your goals, if it's on a board in front of your desk or what, something where you are seeing your goals daily so that you don't forget. And this will help you to discern opportunity. When I have my goals up in front of me and some opportunity comes along where it's a guest speaking thing or something, I look back at my goals. Is this opportunity gonna help me reach my goals? Yay or nay? And if it is, then I'm like, hell yeah. But if it's not gonna bring me closer to my goal, I'm gonna say no. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you do really take some time this year to set some awesome goals for yourself, so that next year we can look back together and reflect on the beauty of goal setting, how your habits have changed, and really celebrate reaching some of these huge goals. And if you haven't reached your goals, to recalibrate, because that's okay. That's what life is all about. So happy goal setting, and I'll see you in the next video.